sensational. A lot of changes going on there. The coaching carousel is in full swing. I mean, it's like one of those carny rides where, they lost control of the thing and it's just going round and round and round and round and round. Okay, everybody get up when you can. No, when you can. I used to read the headlines in the racing forum. It was always great because the headlines were so archaic. I mean, they were just paying token homage to the idea that kind of like some of the public service announcements that you hear various radio stations play. I mean, they're obligated to do it by FCC regulations that were written when the Magna Carta came out. Do you really feel in your heart of hearts, having been in radio as long as you were, that the general philosophy of the radio station, go ahead and honor a commitment to do things that were beneficial to the local community? No. All they wanted to know, hey, is Zimmerman going to spill the beans on that account for the casino?
That's all they cared about.
The time.
Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
There are a lot of false beliefs out there that we need to dispel, that's for sure. Good morning, everybody. Peel yourself off the mat Monday here on the Defo Show. Hope you guys are feeling good. We get into full mode of trying to accomplish something before the holidays really kick in once again. I think this week and next week, and then that's about it, right? Standing 8 count. 6, 7, 8. You all right? You okay? Welcome to the show. Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubie, Lubitz with you, and very happy to be here on Eye on Channel. It's always great to be here. I had a terrific weekend, Mike Lubie, Lubitz, and
Nice.
started out on a Friday night with the big Larry Little Hall of Fame banquet. That was fantastic. Well, I'll say this. I mean, I love Hialeah Park. You know I love Hialeah Park. I've always loved it, and every time I drive down there, I think to myself, wow, how many great times did I have here? And it was a wide variety of good times that I had while hanging out at Hialeah Park. I was a young thief. I was really just getting started here when I first started going there. And things were taking off at different times. And at times it seemed like maybe I ought to choose another profession. Hey, get a copy of the classifieds, DeForest. This ain't going to go well. And it made me question, the move, which a lot of people questioned me, Lubie, about moving from Los Angeles to Miami, especially at that time. You had the riots going on there in the early 80s and the Mariel boat lift, and a lot of strange things were happening in South Florida. And there I was in sunny Southern California, sort of riding the crest of, what could have been a very decent newspaper and broadcasting career. But I thought it was going to get tough. And I always, you know me, I had my Ratso Rizzo dream. Everybody is talking at me. They don't hear a word I'm saying. Where I was on like a bus with John Voight, very much done in DeForest, riding down here to catch some sunshine. So I always had an affinity for South Florida, so I took a shot on coming here. And many of my roots in trying to make it in broadcasting happened at Hialeah Park, and they were always big backers of mine. So I've always felt an incredible affinity for the people there. And when you roll into the grounds, it's fantastic. But I will say this, and I just was watching the local traffic here on TV, which is kind of a strange thing also, isn't it? Because you figure if you're in traffic, you're probably not watching TV. I guess as a forewarning, I mean, there are no alternate routes here, though, Lubie. There are no alternate routes when they say, hey, why don't you take an alternate route? I mean, it's one thing if you're in like another city like New York. Okay, well, I'll take the other bridge, whatever. Here, there's nothing. Straight up, straight back.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight up, straight back. That's it. You go north, you go south. North, south. If you're going east and west, you're thinking to yourself, why am I going west? Naples? Yeah, that sounds good. The Green Mile of Love. But anyway, I just saw on TV that there's like a massive traffic jam going down 95 around Sunrise Boulevard, which is south of where I live. Yeah. I usually get on around Atlantic Boulevard here in Pompano Beach, my hometown. And it looked dreadful. And unfortunately, some of these events that take place at Hialeah Park happen like at 7 o'clock for the post time. And it's just dreadful driving in South Florida on a Friday afternoon. If you get in a car at 5 o'clock, you're going to get there about 7 o'clock on what would normally be a 45-minute drive. And that's if you're lucky. Yep. So that's the only drawback. But we managed to navigate our way down there. And probably courtesy and there's just one thing. I don't know that the state of Florida ever gets anything completely right. We've been talking about that. They just shut down the betting app there from the Seminole Hard Rock. I mean, if the Seminoles can't pull it off, they're on sovereign land. Oh you can't tell them what to do. Yeah. We already went through that.
How did they do?
And whatever they want. Casinos, whatever. It doesn't matter. Full control of gambling in the state. So, you wouldn't think that they would be inclined to shut anything down, but they've shut down the sports betting app. That was a big topic of conversation when I was getting buried at a local simulcasting parlor yesterday. Buried, Lubie. I can't get out of my own way. This is not a good omen. You want to hit something going into the holidays, don't you?
You're trying.
It's a disaster. I thought I could have bought the grandkids about $500 worth of toys just with the money I lost over the weekend. Wouldn't that have been more appropriate? That's a female thing, too, when they're with a gambler and they don't gamble themselves. In fact, they despise the very notion that you like to gamble, which is not the case. Actually, the Mustang carried me through a dreadful Saturday by hitting a couple of slot machines. And then you talk about beginner's luck. Our friend Pam, she says, where are you guys? She wanted to get together with the Mustang. So Mustang says, I'm playing slot machines at the casino here in Pompano Beach.
Yeah.
And, I'm not a big fan of the machines there. Let's put it this way. I've been ice cold in there. You talk about Arctic tundra syndrome.
Well, you
feel the wind there?
That's the problem. It's not just you.
Well, and yeah, you know how it is. I mean, Chateaubriand, great. If you're talking to a gambling gourmet and he says, hey, you get a steak for $2, Chateaubriand, fantastic. Paella, great for $2. Gambling for $2? No. You don't want to do it on your own bankroll. I mean, when she had her own money, it was a lot better.
You're like, yeah, sure, hon. Go right ahead.
You don't want to remind her of that either, because then she'll give you that look like darts and say, what money we have is our money.
Exactly.
I keep saying, thanks, Ma. Otherwise, I'd be in the streets right now. Thank you, Ma. You rest in peace. She literally would be like, I mean, she's got to be just, absolutely with an evil look on her face, thinking that, I'm gambling with some of this money. But it was not the most profitable of weekends in that regard, unless you were betting the Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
Which, turned out to be a very profitable thing. But her friend Pam rolls over there, has never gambled. I mean, she's gambled one time in her life. She went to Las Vegas.
Okay.
And I don't know. I don't have this kind of luck. I don't assume that you do either. The kind of guy that has this kind of luck is Jersey Kyle.
Yes.
Where somebody says, you know what, when you get out there, do me a favor, put like $25 on one number on the roulette wheel. Now think about the arbitrary nature of actually trying to connect on this bet.
Oh, not first of all, red or black, because they usually put it on red, or so just on one.
No excitement in that. Yeah, red or black pays even money, and you don't even have an even chance of hitting that, because you know how they get you, Lubie. It's like personal seat licensing in the NFL. The 2 green numbers. See, so there's it's in their favor by what? You get 37 numbers on the roulette wheel. 2 of them are neither red or black.
That's annoying,
right? It's the old whoosh, take the tablecloth out, and look, all the dishes stay there, but your money goes into the chute, goes right into the can there where they have that rake. Anyway, so I've seen this happen. I saw it happen once, and now this is another story. Same ploy. And another friend of mine had the same thing happen to him, where they went out to Las Vegas and were not gamblers. And somebody said, put $25 on a certain number on the roulette wheel. Now, the odds are 35 to 1 you get paid, but it's 37 to 1, as I just mentioned, against you hitting this. And then which roulette wheel? At what time? I mean, do you arbitrarily walk up there and expect your number to come in?
Yep.
It doesn't come in if you've been sitting at the table for hours sometimes. You've seen how that goes. Stacks of chips just being raked into the side. They even, have to have, like, if a lot of people are playing, a separate person just to separate all the chips so they can get them back into circulation again. I'll buy in for another 200 there, Joe. Okay, yeah. No, all ones. So, you're like Money Mayweather walking into a strip club. It's all $1 chips. But, so this woman hits... She puts she put $25 on one number on the roulette wheel. It hits, right?
Oh, geez.
And I think that pays $17.50 or something $8.75. So she might have had $50 on it. She got back like almost $2,000, $17.50. So that had to be $50. And then she walks into this casino, and within 5 minutes she hits for $1,100 on one of the slot machines.
What?
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Okay, good for her.
Pretty lucky. So that was going well on Saturday. I think by Sunday, though, they realized what was going on, that some of these machines might have been malfunctioning, as in people were winning. They tightened the screw. Oh, my God. Such ugliness. Wow. All those toys I could have bought for little kids. Just incredible. All right. Well, it's discretionary
there you go.
capital, right? Is it not?
Is it? It's supposed to be.
Straight to the win. I don't know if you were making money betting football. We told you this, huh? Lubie, were we right about this? By the way, how was your weekend? We never got to that.
It was wonderful, actually. It was my nephew's bar mitzvah. So his father's family is Orthodox. So it was Friday night and Sunday as opposed to Saturday. So you talk about peeling yourself off the mat. I was dancing till about 10 o'clock last night, and I still on my way here. So don't ever question my dedication. But it was
you're dedicated.
We had a great time, and I'm glad you had a good time, even though you were in the negative. I'm still in the negative as well because we went to a wedding Saturday. So we shelled out a lot of money this weekend, but it was a really good time and a lot of fun and a lot of family. And the football, both on and off the field, was very interesting this weekend.
Oh, great stuff. I mean, you had a full slate of very exciting games happening on Saturday, very meaningful games as they finally shook out the college football playoff system. And it happened, right? Cincinnati made it in. There's no way to deny them once Oklahoma State lost. If Oklahoma State had won their ball game, I think Cincinnati would have got the shaft.
Maybe.
Pretty sure about that. But when they lost, there was no way to justify it. You couldn't put Notre Dame over Cincinnati since the one quality win that Cincinnati had, in everybody's opinion, was over the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, who probably weren't as good in the beginning of the year. I mean, we saw that when they nearly lost to Florida State in the beginning of the season, and then they did lose at home to Cincinnati. So that's a quality victory. Head-to-head has to be the ultimate barometer in deciding these things, so you had to give it to Cincinnati. And Oklahoma State losing, of course, solidified that. Although I did lose a hot dog and a bag of potato chips because I figured it was going to be World Boxing Council type of treatment for Cincinnati, that they'd figure out a way to put somebody like Baylor in there. I mean, whatever they could do just to avoid what could ultimately turn out to be some embarrassment with Alabama taking on Cincinnati in the opening round in the Cotton Bowl. Now, we do benefit here in South Florida, and there should be a lot of people. We invite you people from around the world. Jack Namer and Amy telling us that we're gaining traction in New York and Detroit, and Los Angeles and Cleveland and cities all over the world and Eastern Asian countries. People are tuning in to hear what Lubie has to say on to peel yourself off the mat.
There you go.
Guys, you need to get a life.
I was going to say, I don't know what to say to them.
No, it's great. But here in South Florida, we're going to get the Michigan-Georgia game, which I think is a real good ball game, although Georgia...
Well, if you get the Georgia, we know.
Bitter disappointing.
What happened Saturday? I was at a wedding, and I'm scorecasting, and I'm like, this can't. What? My phone broke? Like, what is going on?
I couldn't see the full score. I was at a restaurant, the Gamma Gourmet. We have to get Mike Mayo in there because there was an issue with Mayo and this particular restaurant. It's a place called Anthony's Clam House on Commercial Boulevard here in South Florida. Yeah, real reasonable. I mean, and they're kicking ass. I mean, they were packed like 5:30 on a Saturday night. We were celebrating victories then. We didn't realize that we were going to go back on Sunday and take a bludgeoning, the clubbing of seals. PETA people were called in to see if they could rescue us from the clutches of that losing casino atmosphere that we were in. Now, most of it was my fault because I was just getting bludgeoned on horses. I suddenly can't cash a ticket. And I watched Luca Panici jog at like $50 on a horse.
And you didn't have
Luca, I had nothing on. I didn't even know he was riding until I heard somebody screaming, "Come on, Luca! Come on, Luca!" He's like, "Luca, that's my guy. What are you talking about? I'm the one that's usually yelling, 'Come on, Luca.'" And there's Luca, $50 horse, burying my two favorites, well in the distance. But you can't bet against the devil. You really can't. Big Possum is on it. He's on the chat line right now here on the Defo Show, here on Ion Channel.
As we were in lockstep, presuming the entire week with everyone we had on that Georgia was going to rout.
All logic dictated that. All
logic. You kept throwing it out there. You know, you shouldn't bet against the devil.
Look at the people who bet against the devil. Not everybody has gone down in disgrace. Jimmy Swaggart bet against the devil, right? He never thought the devil was going to catch up with him, but there he was with that redheaded secretary. Sayonara Swaggart. Over. Disgrace. I have sinned, ladies and gentlemen. It's like, go bleep yourself, Jimmy. We knew you were a phony the whole time. Jim Baker, huh? I mean, with the phony tears, with Tammy Faye, with the mascara running down her face, like she was Rudy Giuliani at a press conference going, "They stole it. They stole it." It's like, Rudy, man, who colored your hair, man? You don't even have any hair. Why are you coloring it? I mean, is it advantageous to color the hair if you just have like hair on the side of your head? Nothing on top, like a Tony Kornheiser type of thing. I mean, would it pay to really color that, or why don't you just let that go, right? It ends up looking like a patch of upside-down sod that somehow got mixed in when they were laying the lawn. What about you guys on a lunch break? You missed that? Incredible. But, yeah, you can't bet against the devil. Swaggart went down. Jim Baker also finished. I mean, is it a matter of time before they catch up with Osteen?
Oh, yeah.
Not sure. There must be a handbook, some kind of guidebook for these TV evangelists out now, how to not go down in total disgrace.
Yeah, they get away with it a lot better than they used to. Used to have a lot more stories of guys pulling moves. You don't hear that as much anymore.
People don't even arouse the suspicions of indiscretion with some of these TV evangelists. I mean, Osteen is that good. He owns a basketball arena, for God's sake. He bought the arena that the Houston Rockets played in, and that's where he holds most of his congregations and gatherings.
Yep.
They're on a TV show, right? Yeah. I mean, he's up there. And
We've seen it.
Who's his dentist, by the way, man? That guy deserves all the credit for the money that he's making. The suits, I don't know. But nonetheless, you don't bet against the devil. And so here it is, Nick Saban. A team looked like garbage against Auburn the previous week. You can make all you want about rivalry game, amplifying, the ability of the underdog to perform and maybe causing a little bit of excess stress. But they were completely shut down by the Auburn defense until they went Red Sea at the end of the game.
Exactly.
Always a brilliant call. All the coaches have gotten together and they've decided to go with a Red Sea defense. That's right. They're going to split them right down the middle.
See, what's funny is it's actually good that they won that game versus Auburn because we were frustrated. But what would have happened is they would have had 2 losses. And if they had worked Georgia with 2 losses, then it would have screwed everything up. Because them with 2 losses should not be in the playoff. But if Alabama with 2 losses works Georgia, how do you not put him in? So that's how you would have gotten your Cincinnati kicked out, is if Alabama had lost to Auburn. Because you would have had to bump something like a Notre Dame would have gotten in, and then Cincy wouldn't have gotten in. Because they would have done some weird-ass thing. They would have done something weird.
Believe me, I'm sure they came up with every convoluted permutation they possibly could conjure up there to keep Cincinnati out of this playoff. And then meekly got him in there. And look what happens with the devil. You bet against the devil. Everybody's rooting against Nick Saban. Everybody.
So hard.
Even if you're from Alabama, you're rooting against Nick Saban. He's such an impossible person to like after that tenure here. I mean, it wasn't just with the Miami Dolphins. He was always smart. I mean, look those wise guy press conferences that he has with him. Well, you know what? You guys are feeding my guys rat poison. That's why we're in a tight one there. It's like, shut up, Nick.
Who are you mad at? You just won by 30.
He's pissing off the fans. I mean, screaming at them on his own radio talk show, the Nick Saban Show. You tune in to be lambasted by the coach of the team for being an asshole because you're expecting them to win games over Appalachian State. Come on, Nick. Lighten the bleep up, will you? And he's a more likable Nick Saban now because, he may be second only to Serena Williams and Peyton Manning in terms of what advertisements he has on TV. Are you buying Aflac insurance because Nick recommends it? No. You have to be some dumb, uneducated hillbilly. I guess if you're uneducated. No, you don't have to be dumb if you didn't have an education, right? Well, homeschooled Elmo.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, you got a guy 47 years old. He's like the size of a house. He's still living at home. Right? We're going hunting today with the boy. That's great. These are the kind of people that are like following everything that Nick Saban has to say. He's screaming at his own fans. I remember when he used to do the Nick Saban Show down here, and I followed that show. I had just moved from one radio station to another. Hey, there's a surprise.
That never happened.
And I ended up doing a show like 7 to 10 at night on what was 790, and still is, I guess, 790, although they've kind of consolidated with WQAM. It's all a mess here, sports. I'm glad we got out of it. I really am, Lubie. Are you not feeling a lot better about this? I know you had your trepidations, but, you go in. We go into a business meeting. I came back from that. I remember calling you saying, hey, you're not going to believe this, but this guy, Jack, he just laid out like a dream situation for us. And he's going to back it all away with all of, the assets that he has in terms of facilities and technology and, just the basic things like cameras and all the stuff that you need to do that great stuff we were doing. Yeah, I mean.
Today at 6 a.m. because I couldn't get into the system. So
great is that, man? It came out to the house here.
Very helpful.
Fixed this up. These shows that we do Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, which are a lot of fun. But rarely, do you fall into something, as wonderful as that. In this case, I moved and I'm doing like a 7 to 10 a night shift, which actually was still like semi-relevant
Well, you like
in
that.
those days. Yeah, I mean,
You are
you could be on at
listening.
night here, yeah, on the radio, and actually have an audience. I was amazed. Like the first day I was doing the job, I took like 100 telephone calls. It was absolutely fantastic back when people actually called radio shows. So I followed the Nick Saban show on Monday nights from a place, and I believe it was at the aforementioned Gatsby's. I was talking about this the other day with the Gambling Gourmet. Gatsby's was in Davie, and it was a very nice location. And Nick Saban did his show there, and Nick oddly wanted to invite as part of the panel of questioners the local press, which he hated. He despised the local press. So he would have like Armando Salguero from the Miami Herald, Dave Hyde would be there, and they would be asking questions. And I followed that show, and I remember Nick passed by me, and he shook my hand, and then just like disappeared. And I had somebody, take a picture. It was the beginning of cell phone cameras and everything, where they're really prominent and prevalent. So somebody took a picture, and when I got the picture back, it was only an X-ray of Saban. He didn't really exist. He is the devil. I'm telling you, people.
Like a vampire.
So I'm weird about this guy. He doesn't even show up on like a normal photographic technique. All you saw was like the outline of a skeleton there. It was unbelievable. So I don't know if he has no soul or what. And I don't mean to condemn him too much because you have to give it to him. How do you rebound from that pathetic performance inside of a week? And now Bryce Young can throw the football and might be the Heisman Trophy winner, correct? All of a sudden, they're the number one freaking team again, Lubie. We thought they were dead. They were dead.
We're dead. I don't know what the hell happened to Georgia. Georgia has their defensive line is like the best in years. They get pressure and they scare people, and they didn't get any pressure. He was just sitting back there all day. It's like the weirdest thing.
Yeah. Singing zippity doo dah, zippity
just hanging out.
Think I have another receiver crossing the middle on this play. It was great. Anyway, stunning performance by Alabama, and probably even more far-fetched was the idea that somebody would put up 42 points on the Georgia Bulldogs, who had allowed like 6 points a game going into that ball.
Yeah.
Who did they play? They play in the SEC, don't they?
People now are questioning their schedule. I thought they had a decent schedule. Every team they played had a ranking next to it, and they just pummeled them. So what does that say about the rankings?
So that became an automatic. I mean, especially after watching the fashion in which Alabama just absolutely throttled. And I mentioned I was in a restaurant. I couldn't see the score. So I was asking, somebody that had sight of the television set what the score was, and they said it was like 31-13. And I thought, wow, okay, so Georgia is crushing them like a grape. And then I looked up there, and I go, wait a minute. That's Alabama that has the 31. You know how sometimes you can only see half the score?
Yeah.
Well, when you're watching a game in a bar or a restaurant or something, and everybody's talking at the table, but you have your eyeballs on the screen, which doesn't go over well with women.
Oh, no, surely hates
You're paying zero attention
surely hates that.
to what they're saying. Honey, should I go ahead and purchase curtains for the new house? Was that a touchdown? No, I don't think so. Romance. Degeneracy and romantic affairs of the heart, really. I mean, people, if you're not convinced by now. Anyway, so Alabama, I mean, had to be number one. I mean, that was a convincing victory over Georgia. Right. You wonder, was kind of hoping maybe they would meet again in the semifinals, so Alabama would at least have to step over two good teams to win the championship when they win it again for Nick Saban, which will be, what, his 8th?
I don't know.
How many has he won at Alabama so far? Does he have 5 there? I mean, this guy's making Belichick looks like a clown compared to this guy.
I think he has 6 total. 5 there and 1 at LSU.
Okay, yeah, because he won the 1 at LSU.
Yes.
And then 5 at Alabama. I want to say 5. So he has 6 total. This would be his 7th, tying him with Tom Brady for football championships of significance. And look, they've been in just every one, right? They started the college football playoff system. I think Alabama's been there like more than the other 3 teams. Obviously, Cincinnati's never been there before combined. Michigan's been down for a while. I mean, they're kind of coming around, though, Michigan. I was impressed with Michigan, the way they handled Iowa.
Oh, and then that was the thing. It wasn't the way that they handled Ohio State. It was the following week to go and not only play Iowa, everyone thought they might lose, to go and annihilate it. Like, they pummeled them.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
That was the big flip-flop theory of Mark Lawrence, right? Didn't he have Iowa? And the professor liked Iowa, too, getting 11.
A lot of us did. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It felt ripe for, like, okay, they got up for Ohio State. Now they're going to let down. And Iowa's solid, too. Iowa's been top 20 all year. No, they were ready.
Sometimes you have to go against the wise guys, though. I mean, the guys that you actually have a lot of respect for that are usually right about these things. Every now and then, they really line up on the wrong side with a tremendous amount of logic.
Yes.
That's why people out there, you should heed all of these warnings, these phony warnings that are being posted up by like NFL Network. They have a very clever ad for people. It's a PSA, I guess, public service announcement, as mentioned in the opening clips. And it's designed to get people to gamble responsibly. There's no such thing.
What does that mean?
If you're gambling, you're gambling. You're not being responsible. I'm sorry.
Like even if
there's no way to make that equation work. There's no way to push those two things together.
Even if you're like Ken, who Ken is actually really good. At the end of every year, he's up. So it is for him like a business proposition. Even he'll admit it's gambling. It's, again, like you've told me. It's
Jumbo shrimp makes more sense, right? Because, I mean, if a shrimp in general is considered to be puny, hey, you're a shrimp, right? You ever been called a shrimp?
Of course.
A shrimp, man. It was like really insulting when I was growing up in Brooklyn. Hey, you shrimp.
4 eyes and shrimp were the thing tossed my way. Yes. Very insulting.
Yeah. I mean, you probably heard it all, Lubie.
I heard a lot of things with this voice and this height. Yes, I heard it all.
Well, and the certain element of strangeness that I think is very. Everybody has their own unique personality, but idiosyncratic is not really, definitive enough to describe. Jack still hasn't figured you out.
Oh, good, Jack. Stop trying. You're gonna hurt yourself.
He looks at me with this look of complete wonder.
Well, say hello at least.
And confusion, and says,
"Thank you."
Lubie coming? Yeah. No, you've been very good, Lubie. I mean that in all sincerity. But all logic dictated, take the 11 points with Iowa. Michigan was going to bounce off that game, a common horse racing theory. And very impressive. I thought they were very impressive in this game and have been playing really good football. I mean, you don't need me. What do I sound like, Keith Jackson? Yeah, the Wolverines are playing some really good football.
In the playoffs. I hope they've been playing well.
They nearly became the number one team in the country.
Like Brewski.
The pros yesterday, real quickly here. And we're going to have John Kajemi coming on. And that's always great. Dateline Dolphins with John Kajemi. And there is something to absolutely, sort of absolve yourself with the idea that, it's too bad they lost those 7 games in a row. That's going to be the theme of the season.
That's the problem. Yep.
And the Giants don't offer much. I'm looking in the New York Post, of course. I was thinking today, wow, there's a good day for me because, I'll admit, I didn't watch with great intensity all of the Dolphin game yesterday. I was a little slack. I'm watching the horses. I'm losing every race. And there was, the game was on a screen right in front of me, and I sort of watched it. Tua Tagovailoa, even though not a monster at quarterback, but wow. I mean, is there a lot to be said for being a very accurate passer?
Yes.
Almost 75% completion ratio yesterday. It was like 30 for 41, and that was a bad day for him. He had been completing over 80% of his passes.
Well, you want to watch
in the Dolphins' previous 2.
He had 4 clean drops, like balls that hit receiver. Like you always hear the rule out there when they play football, if it hits your hands. But it wasn't like, it hit one, like it would hit both hands and they would just drop it.
I think they're putting baby oil on the football. I was watching a Chiefs game last night. The Chiefs, normally very reliable at catching passes, and they're dropping like passes right in their chest, right? There's no way to lose this ball. You should catch it with your hands. There you go. I'm getting like Tim Hasselbeck or something. Okay, you know what? Here's what you want to do. You want to catch it in your hand. You need me to explain this to you. But catching a football, because I didn't play a lot of football when I was really, really young. All we played was hybrid games of baseball on the streets of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So catching a football, even though I was very good at catching a baseball or any kind of ball, as a good fielder, but I couldn't catch a football when they first started throwing footballs to me. I went out to Long Island to stay with my aunt and uncle, and these guys were playing football and wide open. And couldn't catch it. I mean, it was a whole different thing. And then you realize you got to catch a thing with your hands. But is that lost? I mean, with all the coaching, do they have wide receiver coaches in the NFL?
Yeah.
You're not going to make every play. Usually it's because the guy took his eyes off the ball and started looking up the field there. You can almost always see that.
Yep.
But, I mean, a ball's thrown straight to a guy as if they were aware of the fact that, you know what, the spread is on the line here. Make it look good there, Duke. In honor of the Duke, of course. The lovely and talented one, Leslie Visser, was out at that dinner Friday night, the Larry Little Hall of Fame banquet dinner, which was great. Uh-oh.
You're doing something. Just pick me out there.
My light burned out. All right, that's gonna be a hard thing to fix. Is it out of juice? I don't know what happened here. My camera light went off. All right, so I'm in the dark now, and maybe for a little while. I don't know if this thing's going to make an adjustment. You still see me?
I see you.
A little grainy there, but nonetheless, all right. Maybe that's a good time to bail out. That's a sign from the gods of television and gambling. Yeah, I was a bit of a freak out because it was like I thought the power went out in the house.
I'm like, where'd he go?
You know what it is? It's probably Nick Saban. Realizing that we had talked about him in the context of him being the devil himself. Or maybe it was Osteen has a little bit of power over what's happening here. Or maybe I just need, a new light bulb. Anyway, the Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa. I don't know. Has he convinced you yet that he's brilliant? Not yet.
I like him. I've been behind him. Yeah. And I think he can do more, even though people are questioning it. But what he's doing works. And if he hadn't missed, he missed like 3 or 4 games. They probably would be 8-5 at this point right now. I mean, the Jacksonville game. They should have won those.
You can always say that going back. I mean, I was thinking, well, geez, if the Dolphins had gone 4-3 or 3-4 even in those games that they lost when they dropped to 7 in a row after opening with a win over the Patriots.
Yeah.
If they'd gone 3-4, what would that give them? That would give them a record of like 9 and
maybe 8-5. No, even if it's 2 games right now puts them in the chase for the division. It might be leading. Yeah.
So that was a shame. I mean, they lost games to like Jacksonville during that period of time.
Well, at the end of the game, they had a lead for Jacksonville, and Jacksonville had no time. All they had to do was make a tackle. Instead, they let him catch it inbounds, down it, and kick a field goal, like a 50-something yard field goal that should never have happened, like stupid ways.
Oh, that's right. That was one of the ugliest losses
it was
in
weird.
History.
It was like 6 seconds left. They thought he'd do a Hail Mary. They let him catch it. He got down. They had a timeout, which I guess they didn't realize, and he booted like a 50-something yarder.
Pretty incredible, yeah. I mean, some of those losses were ugly. Unfortunate, really, because you do respect the team, no matter how much you root for or against them. I always have respect for teams that can peel themselves off the mat.
Yes.
And that's what this team has done. Unfortunately, they've done it 3 years in a row, and always after getting off to horrendous starts. So what does that tell you? My off-season program is clearly not working, whatever the hell that is. All right, many things happening. There were a lot of good games in the NFL. Detroit got its first win. That was exciting.
Yes,
John Kajemi will be on to discuss that with us. And very nice gesture by Dan Campbell. We've been taking some liberties with Dan Campbell's, just his whole persona, thinking that he was going to eat a live animal at some point in a quest to motivate his team to get a win. But he went ahead and dedicated a game ball to the high school shooting. I think it's Oxford High School, which is outside of Detroit, and dedicated a game ball to them, paying homage to what was an horrendous situation, right? The parents were on the lam, and they're hiding out in some building like 50 miles away, and all of the details of that are really, they're beyond disturbing about parenthood in America today. Your kid's whacked, and so you go out and buy him a gun. And they show you a drawing of the kid, like saying he's about to kill people, and you shrug it off and go, "Okay, Johnny, yeah, no, I gave you a bologna sandwich for lunch." It's like, just go to class. Some of these stories
are rough. It's like, how did I know? It's like, what do you mean? Like your son wasn't actually being subtle.
What has happened in the world, man?
Like, what are you doing?
Talk about a sugar universe. It's crazy. All right, you have New England and Buffalo tonight. A very, very telling game.
Okay.
And what will happen in the AFC? Is New England going to continue their run? They've made an ascent to the top, much like the Miami Dolphins are trying to do.
Yeah.
And the Buffalo Bills finally righted the ship, or so it seemed last week. They had a great ball game when they needed one. What was that also at the expense of Jacksonville? I think so.
Yeah.
That's the cure-all for everything, right? Urban Meyer. Just hey, can you get Urban on the schedule? Well, at least get him on the phone here. We want to talk about playing the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Bills annihilated the Jameis.
Oh, that's right, the Saints. But the Saints are really in dire straits right now.
They're a joke now.
It's unfortunate. I mean, they don't know what to do with Taysom Hill, right? And at quarterback, not exactly what did he throw? Like 4 picks in that ball game. That was really, really ugly.
They keep extending him too. Like, I don't get it.
But this is one of those, in boxing, it would be one of those fights that you were finally waiting for. Yeah, is De La Hoya going to keep running from Felix Trinidad? And then they finally get into the ring and get it on. And so this is a nice meeting at this point in the season of two teams that you thought you didn't think much of New England going in, but don't bet against the devil, Bill Belichick.
Exactly.
And of course, with the Buffalo Bills, everybody had them going to the Super Bowl after week 3.
Yep.
And then they ran into a little bit of a down period where, I mean, they looked beyond subordinary and now have bounced back with this win over the Saints. Is that enough to get them over the top? New England and Buffalo tonight. Finally, a big-time matchup on Monday Night Football. All right, we're coming back with more, and it was great. I mean, Harbaugh redeemed himself after all of these people run him out of town. And in the next segment, we'll get into this thing, which is the strangest story in all of college football. With all the coaching changes, Lane Kiffin got an extension into 2055 from Ole Miss. Guy goes 15-7. I mean, this guy is leading a charmed life. Lane Kiffin, no question.
Mel Tucker's doing pretty well at this point. Mel Tucker literally got like a 10-year, $95 million extension and then lost 2 of the next 3 games. Pretty impressive.
Mario Cristobal, though, is the big story in South Florida.
I just love
for good reason.
Manny's recruiting, coaching. They have Cristobal mulling offer. Manny recruiting. I'm like, okay. I didn't know
and the guy's out there. I mean, people have been talking about this. I'm sure John Congemi will address it in Dateline Dolphins, but how do you have a guy just dangling there? He's in some kid's living room in Louisiana trying to talk him into coming down to the University of Miami to play quarterback. And, at the same time, on ESPN is a crawl saying that you're not even going to be the coach there.
Exactly.
And may, have no job next year. I don't know. Does somebody take on Manny Diaz as an assistant? I don't imagine.
Well, that's the problem is, I don't know if he was going to get a head coaching job, but they're almost all gone. So what head coaching job could he get?
I don't think he would have been a candidate for any of these high profile.
And guys are putting staffs together. So how could they're screwing him. Like, unless you hate Manny Diaz, like what they're doing to me at Manny is unheard of. I've never heard of this before.
It's funny because sometimes you need a stepping stone. Maybe he needed to go to his Temple job first and see what he could do.
That's what.
At least then he was only burying Temple, right? The only guy that would have cared was Bill Cosby.
Exactly.
And he's not exactly very much in the public eye anymore since he got out of jail on that technicality. Unbelievable. Way to go, Bill.
More about Arcanes coming up.
Well, that's a crazy situation. Where you have a guy that now has a deadline to sign this contract, Mario Cristobal, coach at Oregon. Oregon is going to throw their hands up in the air and just say, if you're going to pay this guy $8 million a year, go ahead.
That's right. That's weird, and I know we got to get into it, but to me, Oregon, and I know the Canes are throwing more money at it. They've shown $8 million for them is amazing. That being said, I don't care who you are as a Cane fan. Oregon has more money to work with. If Oregon wanted Cristobal, they could have kept him. I don't know what. Again, he's
2 words. Phil Knight. I mean, you think
it's weird to me. They offered 7, which they had Billy Napier, who no one even knew who he was 3 weeks ago, got 7. Yeah. So for them to offer him 7 and stay there, that's weird to me. Like that's saying something like, "Okay, go."
Loyalty, my friend. It's loyalty. I would think, and they've had other opportunities to lure Mario Cristobal to be their head coach. It probably would have been much more opportune. Speaking of opportunities, to go ahead and hire him instead of Manny Diaz.
Yes.
When they put Manny in place, they had Mark Richt there, and they're looking around. And Cristobal's name has circulated in association with the Canes head coaching job for a long, long time.
Yes.
And but also it's a phantom pulling the strings. Who's making this call?
They don't have any.
They have no athletic director there.
Like a month.
Yeah. Is it Phil Nevin? Is he still in the can, or did he get out?
I don't know.
It's not Phil Nevin. That's the baseball player.
Yes, I was going to say the baseball
Nevin Shapiro. That's what I'm thinking of.
Phil Nevin, both of them.
I knew it was a Nevin was popping into my head.
Right. You're right.
Maybe it's a good time to take a break here. That light going out really threw me.
But you're hanging in there. I'm
from a mental standpoint here. All right, so the Dolphins have now won 5 in a row. They have a bye week this week, do they not? I mean, they can't lose this week. I don't think they're on a schedule coming up. They play the Jets in their next ball game, but I believe that's in 2 weeks. So a little time to regroup there. That dink and dunk offense.
They are off next
pretty good, yeah. So that nice little resting point here. You worked your way back into it. And if you look at the standings, you have all of the division leaders, I believe, are 8-4 in the AFC. All division leaders. So they are pretty far out of it, though, for whatever reason, via tiebreakers or whatever. Because even at 6 and 7, and there are teams under 500 that are so-called in the hunt, Lubie, but I think they're in like 13th position.
Yeah, they're like behind 5 teams. I think they're behind like 4 or 5 teams. Well, it's
So
like parity. We talked about it. The parity is insane this year in the NFL.
Very much so. Arizona got a win yesterday, so they have the best record in the National Football League. Many interesting results, including John Harbaugh's decision to go for 2. What did you think about that, Lubie? Did you see that at the end of the Ravens game?
No.
Wow, they come back and miraculously tie the ball game late against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who had taken the lead with like a minute and change to go. And with one timeout or maybe none, I think they had one timeout. Baltimore marches it right down the field there. All of a sudden, Lamar Jackson is clicking. And then he throws a brilliant touchdown pass to put them within 1 point. And I see Harbaugh on the sideline signaling to go for 2.
Oh, no.
And you're thinking, I'm all for taking a gamble there, but wouldn't you be, favorable in terms of odds of winning by just instead of going with a 50-50 play? I guess, you still have a 50-50 shot in overtime, but you have a little time to relax. And at least you don't lose right then and there.
Exactly.
So,
give yourself life.
Yeah, unless the guy somehow, which is like a 1 in, 20 chance, misses the extra point.
Yeah,
so, I mean, it would have been possible to lose there. Anyway, they dial up a brilliant play, and it's absolutely wide open. There's a little pressure on the outside, I think, from, is it TJ Watt?
Yes, he's the one that's actually better now that's on the Steelers.
Man, yes. Well, I mean, JJ Watt, I think, is out for the season again, which he's been out for the last 7 seasons.
Yeah, honestly. It's true. He's
what is the most common thing to see on a crawl? JJ Watt out for the season. Good player, though. I mean, a great player. I don't mean to impugn his integrity at all as a player, and he seems like a real good guy. But his brother is a monster there, coming off the edge for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he puts mild, not token pressure, but just enough to make Lamar Jackson have to throw a ball in a little bit of a difficult spot, and the guy drops it. I don't blame the receiver so much. It was a pretty tough catch, but the play was wide open, and they would have won the ball game right then and there. So big gamble there. You don't see NFL coaches do that kind of thing very often. Sean Payton maybe, and John Harbaugh. Got to give him credit.
I want a coach to be ballsy, but that's a weird place to be ballsy. The Ravens have sort of struggled.
Weird, yeah. Well, especially since you just miraculously got yourself back into a position to tie the ball game and at least, have a shot to duke it out in overtime a little bit. Where now, it's not all decided by one particular play, a 2-yard scoring play, which, is what? Is it even 50-50?
No, it's hard.
Conversions? I don't think so.
Shrunk. It's really hard to get those.
Yeah, how many times you see a team first and goal from the 2-yard line, and it takes them 4 plays to get it in?
Exactly.
We're going to jam that thing right up the middle here, and we're going to surge that pile forward. All right, we're coming back with a lot more here. It's the Defo Show on Ion Channel. I'm Jeff Deforrest. He's Mike Lubie. It's a pleasure being with you. Peel yourself off the mat Monday. It was a pleasure going down to Hialeah Park on Friday night. Man, I love that place, man. And you know what? If you were thinking about holding an event there, maybe they probably even do bar mitzvahs. I know they do
they do
a lot of kinsey parties. Yeah,
they do everything.
But wow, the catering there is fantastic. I mean, just a great meal. Everybody was happy. The big thing was, and I'll have to pop this up somewhere, the picture of Mustang who recognized, believe it or not, Reggie Theus, of all athletes. Recognized Reggie Theus. She says to me, is that Reggie Theus? Usually she's asking me, like you'll see Don Schuler. She'll say, who's that?
I know. That's
no, she knows, a little bit of sports there from working in sports bars and being a sports fan, but recognizes Reggie Theus from her days of living in Orlando as a Magic fan.
Good for her.
So we get a picture with Reggie Theus. I'll have to circulate that. Tall drink of water, you would have to imagine there.
Yep.
Wondering as a short Jew how I ever got a shot off against some of these guys that are like 6'5".
You're not that short.
You can't even conceive, like you can't even keep your head up anymore. It's almost impossible. All right, Hialeah Park, that'll perk your head up. And the casino was hopping. And here's what I did. Here's the move, Lubie. I did it. Even though I had eaten something at the dinner, it was a few hours later that we left the casino. Okay. After having a really good time in there. And Mustang says, why don't we get one of those Cuban sandwiches?
Nice.
And so we did. And, that was it on the ride home, which, a little bit of mayonnaise might have squirted on the dress shirt, my only dress shirt. So that'll be out of circulation for a while. But you want to be in circulation at Hialeah Park. This Sunday is going to be great. It's the handicapping tournament. I think we're going to put an entry in there with the Polyman and Dave Gurgles Gurgly.
Yes.
And I know several other of my friends are going in there that like this kind of thing. It's really, really a dynamite way. I mean, if you're going to lose a nickel at the racetrack, why not take a shot on winning like $1 million? That'd be the way to go. And there's no, nothing saying there are no parameters that say you're going to lose this nickel because, in all likelihood, you're going to come out of it with some capital.
There you go.
And maybe a seat to the NHC, which is the National Handicapping Championship. And Lubie, this is a spectacular event. With gambling coming on like it is, I'm amazed it isn't even more popular and more in the public eye than it actually is. But out there in Las Vegas at Bally's, National Handicapping Championship, not one but 2 seats available.
Nice.
To be won in this tournament. So and it's not a huge field, so you have a chance maybe to mow down I'm not sure what the field was the last time they did this, but it wasn't like overwhelming. It's not like you have to beat like 10,000 guys to win the tournament. And then you keep your live money bankroll, which is $300 of the $500 entry fee, and then another $1.25 goes to the prize fund.
Nice.
So Hialeah Park. This is coming up. I guess that date is December 12th. That would be
12th.
Sunday.
Talking about the 12th.
December 12th, and going to be a lot of fun and a lot on the line there. You can win the prize money, keep the money that you win. Let's say you have a big day, win the contest, pick up $20,000 in live capital because you're making bets that are a little bit unusual, and then you pick up the prize money too, and then you're off to Vegas.
There you go. For
combinations for 2 also, right?
Nice.
You got airfare for 2. I mean, it's just a great thing, and there are 2 of those available. National Handicapping Championship tournament, a lead-in tournament to the National Handicapping Championship at Hialeah Park, December 12th. You can find your entry right online there at hialeahpark.com. That was great being down there, man. Frankie looks great, by the way. Fantastic. Good seeing you, Frankie.
That guy's a fighter.
Lovely Kim. I mean, I don't know, man. They have to be seeing that Dr. Savant or something.
They look younger every time. They look great. Makes me so happy.
Yeah. Frankie's out there cutting some moves on the dance floor. It was really fantastic. We saw the Big O, Orlando Elzegary.
Nice.
A lot of people ask us whatever happened to the Big O. He was doing a podcast. He's got his own thing going on, and he was sitting down with a lot of Hall of Famers and a lot of great people. I saw Johnny O there, Johnny Offerdahl, Tony Nathan, always a good guy to run into. Nat Moore was looking good. Nat Moore was looking great out there. Leslie Visser was in the crowd as well, and the in attendance. You remember Connie Cooper Smith?
I love her. She's the best.
You know what she's doing now? She's hanging out with Kamala Harris.
Oh, of course she is.
Guiding her all around to these various affairs that she's attending and officiating at. All right, we're coming back with more. Well, I guess that was a record for the opening segment here on the show.
50 minutes.
A lot on my mind here. Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubitz, John Kajemi goes Dateline Dolphins in just a few minutes now.
Yeah, like in a minute.
Like in the next segment. And we're coming back on our channel. Thanks once again to all the people there. Amy, keeping the faith, fantastic.
Thanks, Brad, for waking up at 6 this morning. We wouldn't be on.
Oh, yeah? Did you have an issue?
It logged me off, and I don't know any of the passwords. I'm spoiled. They take great care of us. So thank you, Brad.
All right, I'm going to kick this light and see if you guys, can see me instead of as a shadow. This is like one of those silhouette things where they don't want to give your identity. I'm telling you, it was Bonzini all along. Is that a voice shredder? What are they doing with Deforrest? All right, back in a moment. Now that.
The time.
It's 7:48 here on the East Coast.
Hey there, it's Mike Mayo. Do you like steaks? Do you like seafood? Do you like classic old Florida charm? You could get that all and more at Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of 95. The Studiali family, they've been running the place a long time. It's been there more than 70 years. And it is now a place you can get early bird specials along with steaks to take home and throw on the grill yourself at the Butcher Shop. That's open 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. It's open for dinner every night starting at 4:30, but they are closed on Sundays. Go to Tropical Acres. It's a place to go for a great meal, great people, good value. Tropical Acres.
The championship meet is right around the corner at Gulfstream Park. The only place for live racing, Gulfstream's action has never been hotter. Whether it's on the track, in the casino, or part of the dining and entertainment offered at the Village of Gulfstream Park. Currently running Thursday through Sunday, Gulfstream's racing package is the best in the country, with all the top horses and people in the game pointing towards another tremendous winter season. Check out the remodeled first floor casino, open 7 days and nights a week, along with the many special events and concerts happening at Gulfstream Park. You can place your wagers from anywhere at firstbet.com. Check the calendar of events at gulfstreampark.com. Destination Sport Miami is here to revolutionize the sports landscape in South Florida. The largest indoor multifaceted sports complex in North America is on the way. with distinguished leaders of its various sports programs and unparalleled access to the finest indoor training fields and facilities, Destination Sport Miami will set South Florida apart as the destination of choice for elite athletic training and development, and for its dedication to youth programs and sports on all levels. A phenomenal concept and a powerful undertaking, Destination Sport Miami will also be an important commodity in the sports business community as well. Destination Sport Miami, its time has come.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in the Plantation location, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible.
It's weird, this other lamp is out also.
For delivery and pickup, all you have to do is go to Landlubbers.
A little light that's actually inside the camera just came
delivery. Their hours have changed a little bit. Monday through Thursday from 3:30 to 10. And Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11:30 to 10. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Since day one of Old School, we've had Catholic Health Services be part of our family. They are recognized as the quintessential rehab facility in the Southeast for strokes, but it goes well beyond strokes, because Catholic Health Services is in the community of South Florida to help the community stay healthy. And if they're not healthy, get them healthy and get them back on their feet quicker than they could have ever expected. They do it every single day. It's step and repeat, 24/7. Catholic Health Services.
Buy or lease a Taos and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy, with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen.
Either right-handed or left-handed, get down in there, shirk off the defender.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on the Defo Show.
Welcome back to the show, the Defo Show. Jeff Deforrest along with Mike Lubie. Lubitz, peel yourself off the mat Monday here on Ion Channel, ionchannel.com. You can just Google the Defo Show and find us. If I look a little bizarre here, it's because this like interrogation light came on inside the camera that I use to do the video stream of what it's turned out to be a nice little combination, huh? It's the old one, too. You have audio streaming with Doug, who's doing a fine job, like 112 channels, and then the video stream with Jack and Brand at the helm there. And we're all over the world with this thing. So very optimistic heading into 2022. You're right, Amy. This is going to be our year. Also, heading into 2022, you might be concerned about your health, the status of your health insurance. And this is very important because I think the open enrollment, it's been on since November 1st, but is there a time limit on this thing?
There used to be. I think
right around the corner.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of people have questions, and you want those answered. You want them answered by somebody who's not trying to hustle you and convince you that you need something that you absolutely don't. Yep. And that's why the people at HST Insurance are leading the pack when it comes to this sort of thing. They understand how confusing this time can be, and they can help you navigate your options, whether you're looking for yourself or your family. They have a plan designed specifically for you, and their trusted advisors can find that plan and meet your just absolute needs. I mean, whatever it is that you need, they can find it for you. So call them today, HST Insurance, 855-282-8022, 855-282-8022 for HST Insurance. All right, you might have needed some insurance on some of your wagers over the weekend. I don't know. It's very, very interesting. As much logic was all over that Georgia game. I mean, it was ridiculous. And if you look at the numerology on that, I mean, Georgia was giving up like 3 yards of play all season long, like in totality, and Alabama hits them for almost 8 yards per play in that game. Bryce Young, I mean, where was this ferocious pass rush that the Georgia Bulldogs had exhibited? I mean, they were punishing people. That was the clubbing of steals when they turned that defensive front and the front seven loose, and they're blitzing from all angles and doing all kinds of crazy things. I mean, that when you're just overwhelmed by an opponent, that happens once in a while. I don't know, Lubie. I'm sure. Well, I know I have been, but I'm sure you've been in games, and people out there, you've been in games, whatever it happened to be, whatever sport you were playing, where you were just at one time overwhelmed completely by the opposition. They were so much better than you.
Oh yeah.
That there was nothing you could do except hope not to leave there with a broken arm or leg.
Yep.
Just don't get hurt, right? And you're still in there trying. I mean, I'm sure all of these teams that were competing with Georgia were in there trying, and nobody had scored, more than 17 points. Clemson had 3 in the opening game of the season.
Yep.
And we didn't know that Clemson wasn't going to be that good, but certainly Clemson, have they fallen apart offensively? I know they've tailed off, right? Was there some rumor about their offensive coordinator not being seen in such a favorable light since all of a sudden they don't have like the Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback?
They had lost one of the offensive coordinators a couple of years ago to USF, Jeff Scott. And this weekend, they officially lost Brenton Venables, their long-time defensive coordinator, to Oklahoma. So they were in a little bit of upheaval, Clemson. But, I mean, by the end of the year, their offense was playing better. They were playing almost like Clemson by the end of the season.
This Radakovich guy, man, from Clemson, the AD, is supposed to come to UM. Everybody's coming to UM, huh?
Everyone. It's like Bama.
I think Donna Shalala's even coming back to the University of Miami. Ever been dangled out there by a girlfriend who was about to tell you, that happened to you.
Do you know
She just disappeared, though, your first wife.
Yes, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, do you know that, like, usually when someone's being dangled, they don't know they're being dangled. Like, that's my problem. Yeah. Like, Manny knows he's being dangled.
Yeah, you have suspicions, though. I mean, look, this has been talked about. Every coach knows that at some point their number may be up. It's like being any kind of performer, Libby. As I told you, no gig lasts forever, and nor should it, right? It's always good to explore new things, as we're doing right here on Ion Channel. But, I mean, this is bizarre where the guy's actually on the road, and, it's not – is it rumor anymore? I mean, the connotations are so strong that Mario Cristobal has like a deadline of maybe noon today. Listen, Mario, you better call us.
Yeah, they wanted it by the weekend because the way they've been reporting it, the Kane insiders are reporting it like it's a done deal. But then,
so what do you think happens now? I mean, you think the guy stays in Oregon?
I think he comes to Miami. At this point, to go back to Oregon would be rough for both schools. I don't know what the snag is.
No, but it looks good for him if he goes back to Oregon, doesn't it? I mean, he would become even more beloved there than he has been, although he has done a pratfall in a couple of big games.
Well, no, he's done this. This is what he does. He's got a big win versus Ohio State, but he's good for 3 to 4 losses a year. Like, he's a really good recruiter and coach. I mean, I think that's sort of what Oregon's realized is they'll be happy to keep him. But if he goes, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, right. They may be feeling that they can find somebody better. Meanwhile, a desperate grasp. I suppose it would solidify the position in the minds of people for whatever time it took for everybody to realize once again that it ain't happening here anymore. It's over, my friends.
And it's funny.
Over.
Kane people, like, not
enjoy what you have sometimes. You just have to enjoy what you have. Maybe you don't have that mansion on the water, But you can still enjoy your life, can you not? I mean, some bum on the street there that goes over to the beach and catches a nap under a tree, right, while the sun is coming up. He's enjoying life to some extent, as you would consider it a luxury to go there and have the time to do that.
There you go.
It'd be great. So, you have to find, I don't know if it's a silver lining and everything, but just realize it's okay to realize who you are. Yes. And that's unfortunate because I don't know, all of this hysteria that's going on there, and it really is a joke that you would have a guy on the road doing a job. It's kind of like when we came in that day for that last show.
Say we did
right? Where they know you're gone before the show starts. Just say, hey, why don't you take the morning off? Call me the night before.
Exactly. Let me sleep.
Yeah, give me a break, man. You're going to fire me right after the show? What kind of garbage is that? And so, and any coach assumes that there's going to be a time. That's why they have these massive buyouts now in these college football contracts, which are staggering.
Yes.
Guy gets $12 million to get canned for failing.
Yeah.
Where do you find a job like that? What are we weak on, Lubie? Technique?
I guess.
All fans know strategy better than any coach, right? Everybody was screaming at the television set, "You're a bozo, Harbaugh. Don't do it. Don't do it." Talking John, not Jim.
Yes, Jim is actually the strong one right now. for a little while.
Right. I still envision every time I say something like that, Dan Snyder coming into that press conference and saying, I said John, not Jay.
Well, I don't know if he wanted to
announced Jay Gruden as the head coach of the now Washington football team, which Ron Rivera somehow has his team at like 500 with a bunch of schmanks.
Yeah,
so not too bad. And the Raiders are in complete downward spiral. All right, so we're coming back with more. We'll go Daylight Dolphins with John Conjemi. That's always a pleasure. We love John. He's a real professional and has something positive to talk about here with this Miami Dolphins team. I don't know that he was an overwhelming advocate of the idea they were going to turn this around, but I know he's feeling very comfortable that things are going in the right direction. I don't want to put words in his mouth. He can tell you himself. John Conjemi going Dateline Dolphins with us here in just a few minutes on the Defo Show. I'm Jeff Deforrest. He's Mike Lubitz. Gulfstream Park. Wow, the racing has been sensational. Now, I haven't been hitting. How did I miss that Luca Panici horse? What's up with you, Francesco? You're supposed to call me.
Yeah, I love it. He makes sure to get his bets in with you, but he doesn't get you that. Like, are you kidding me?
And then he swears that he knows nothing about it. Luca, tell me nothing.
Yeah, okay.
Well, jockeys probably are the worst to tout horses at the track. I mean, every now and then a jock will know that a horse was running real well in the morning or had some peculiar problem, maybe with the surface or took a bad step or got pinched, whatever. And so it would be something where if like Jerry Bailey called you and said this horse can't lose and you're catching him at like 12-1, you're thinking, wow, that's a good piece of insight. But Luke is on all these bombs now because you have the championship meet on at Gulfstream Park, and that means the top jockeys and outfits are all in town. Great horses. They had the Claiming Crown to kick off the Saturday, the weekend cards. They got it started on Friday, and just a sensational meet underway at Gulfstream Park. You're going to love it. So many ways to enjoy the races there, and you can also play them no matter where you are. Hey, I can't get to Gulfstream. I'm in China. It's okay if you're watching there. We respect that, and it's good that the show is translated into Chinese for our many followers over there overseas. But you can still play the races, right? I don't know. Can I say this? The Chinese people do like to send it in when it comes to gambling. Is that a fair statement?
You've been to enough casinos where you've done enough research. That's sure. From your eyes, at least.
You go to like weird games like Pai Gow Poker and Baccarat.
Exactly.
And these Asian people are sending it in. My God. I mean, it's like, literally, it is like, and no, I didn't mean this to tie in, but it's like you can picture Johnny Chan just shoveling all in that scene in Rounders there, which was an actual scene from the World Series of Poker. I believe it was like 1986 when he shoveled all in and he snookered the guy, right? Check. Yep. Anyway, Gulfstream Park, you can play poker there too if you're a poker player, but the simulcasting's great. And if you're around the world, firstbet.com. Just sign up, get an account on that website. They give you all kinds of bonuses and things. So it's a great place to play the ponies. And you can watch from anywhere. And all you have to do is log on to gulfstreampark.com. A lot of great events coming up, special events, big stakes races with the championship meet on. So enjoy a day of racing, plan a day of racing at beautiful Gulfstream Park. All right, I'm Jeff Deforrest. He's Mike Lubitz. Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill, mile marker 104 in the Keys. Proud sponsor of Dateline Dolphins with John Conjemi. That's coming up in a moment. Now that.
The time.
A 5-game winning streak, Lubie. 5. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I missed that there. You have to go the opposite way, right? It's like backhanding the ball in the hole. It's 8:02. Destination Sport Miami is here to revolutionize the sports landscape in South Florida. The largest indoor multifaceted sports complex in North America is on the way, with distinguished leaders of its various sports programs and unparalleled access to the finest indoor training fields and facilities. Destination Sport Miami will set South Florida apart as the destination of choice for elite athletic training and development and for its dedication to youth programs and sports on all levels. A phenomenal concept and a powerful undertaking, Destination Sport Miami will also be an important commodity in the sports business community as well. Destination Sport Miami, its time has come.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in the Plantation location because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. Their hours have changed a little bit. Monday through Thursday from 3:30 to 10, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11:30 to 10. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar, and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. What if I told you you could go to a great restaurant, feel completely safe because their COVID protocol is unmatched, have an amazing meal, have a great time. When the bill comes, you won't get sticker shock. You're going to say, that's too good to be true. No, it's not, because I'm talking about Texas Roadhouse. Great family atmosphere, great atmosphere for a couple, great atmosphere if you just want to go by yourself and watch a game and have the coldest beer in town. And while you're doing that, have the best bread in town. All at Texas Roadhouse. Everything you get there is fresh every day and made sure it's served at your table, hot and ready to go. And the best part is you don't get sticker shock because the prices are amazing. Texas Roadhouse.
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone? You can have Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa on your side.
Hey, it's Mike Mayo, the Gambling Gourmet here for my friends over at Shenanigans Sports Pub. It's a great place to go to take in a game, a good meal, and a couple of drinks. My friend Patrick, he's been doing it a long time, and he's got 2 locations. West side is right across from TY Park in Hollywood. And then the east side location is at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Shenanigans is the place for wings, burgers, barbecue, fresh fish, anything you want, drink specials, late night dining, outdoor dining. It is the place to go, family friendly. Go to Shenanigans and tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Dateline Dolphins with John Congemi, and that's brought to you by Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill in the Keys, and we're looking very much forward to doing some broadcasts there. I think we're going to head down there like once a month during the football season. I have to ask you this, and feel free to, not necessarily spill the beans from a personal standpoint to your good friend Dan Marino. Does he experience, or did he ever experience nightmares about handing the ball off to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that one year when Jimmy insisted on running the ball on every play? And it was always, the announcer, I think it was Ron St. John, was a stadium announcer back then, and you could hear him say, hand off to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, gain of 1, 2nd and 9. Hand off to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, gain of 1, 3rd and 8. Did he ever talk about that?
No, he's never really talked about that, Defo. But you're right. I think they did have that on loop at whatever the stadium was called at that time.
It was 1 yard every time. And it was a generous 1 yard they were giving him statistically.
Enjoy your trip to work with lots of laughs thanks to Defo and Lubie. Now on the Defo Show.
He was onto something. We knew it. He was onto something going way back to some of those really hard to watch early weeks of this Miami Dolphins season. But I believe John Congemi was one that was keeping the faith and saying that just hang in there, people. This team, well, nobody could be this bad in reality. We welcome the show. Welcome back to the show, everybody. And Peel Yourself Off the Mat Monday. Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubie, Lubitz, the Defo Show here on Ion Channel. And always a pleasure to welcome in this gentleman for another session of Dateline Dolphins and a look around what was it was an action-packed weekend. That's all you could say. Got to use wrestling terminology in describing it. It's an action-packed night tonight at the Miami Beach Convention Center because you had everything at stake college and pro football. We welcome John Congemi, brought to you by Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill, mile marker 104, and that is in Key Largo, Florida, a great destination. If you're out of town, you're in a snowstorm right now, think about Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill and sipping on a cocktail there as the sun sets on an 85-degree day. John, how are you, my friend? Much happiness to you during this holiday season, and seems like maybe Dolphin fans may have rise for hope that things aren't as bad as they seemed a few weeks ago.
Well, still crossing our fingers that we can continue this hot streak. 5 in a row, though, is pretty good for where the Dolphins were at 1-7, and I think it does give the fans some hope, some optimism about the future of this football team. When you take a look at the way the quarterback has played, the defense is kind of as advertised. They were a little late to the party. I think they got the wrong directions, kind of made a U-turn, came back. And now we're seeing what we thought we would see earlier in the year. Now, I do say that with a caveat. You can only play the teams that are on your schedule, and the schedule has been light lately in terms of talent, but you have to take advantage of those teams. The Dolphins didn't do that against the Falcons and the Jaguars, and that's why we're still in this quandary where you could make it. If you keep it going, you got a chance. But if you have one of those two games, you're right in the thick of things, because everybody in the AFC is at 8-4. It seems like at the top of the heap. So you've got a chance if you can win them all.
No doubt. I mean, still in there with a shot, as you said. Although I think I was kind of surprised to see that at 6-7 they were still no better than 13th when you have many teams in the so-called wild card chase that are sub 500 also. But they must not be in a very favorable spot when it comes to whatever tiebreakers would be applicable if the season ended today. I get a kick out of this because, I get the New York Post every day, John, and it's one of the few remaining really good sports sections in a newspaper, and I'm one of those guys. I don't mean to be overly graphic here because it's an ugly thought, but I can't have a bowel movement without a newspaper in my hands there. And it's like I used to, get on my dad a little bit about like taking 45 minutes in the bathroom in the morning. And, Dad, you gonna get out of here? I gotta go to school.
Yeah, I remember
and
those
now,
days.
like that's average for me, like 45. I read the paper cover to cover, including that Leo DiCaprio is getting more chicks than anybody. He's amazing. He's down there at Art Basel in disguises with like babes all over him, but. The report card, I always love the report card on the games, and naturally it was an ugly day in New York for the New York football teams. The Jets got clobbered 33-18, and the Giants down here, who was it that blew it and gave like Mike Glennon like $1 zillion? Was that the Bears?
The Bears,
John Congemi many years ago?
Boy, it might have been. I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of bad quarterbacks. I mean, I don't mean to imply that you would fall into that category, but a lot of bad pro quarterbacks, made a ton of money.
Yeah, I wish I felt blunders. In that category, Defo, to be quite honest with you.
Right? I mean, Neil O'Donnell was always getting like $20 million from somebody to play for like a half a year before he finally was relegated to the bench. And Glennon was in that category, but not much in the way of offense. This looked like my college transcript, John. The report card here.
Incomplete.
Starts right out offense with a big fat F, like a big giant red F. I mean, they even put it in color. That's how bad that performance was. Not much coming from the Giants in this game.
It wasn't. There was really no resistance. The Dolphins took over the game, even though the score really didn't indicate it. The final score 20-9. I think it was the second consecutive game the Dolphins defense didn't allow a touchdown. I thought 2 drives in the second quarter. One was a 14-play drive. It took almost 7 minutes off the clock. The other one was an 11-play drive. Tua was accurate. He was on time. The offensive line protected him, gave him some room in the pocket. And I think he hit multiple receivers. And Jalen Waddle, breaks a rookie record for the amount of catches he's had to this point. Jalen Phillips breaks a rookie record in terms of sacks with Bill Stanfield and one other gentleman.
Wow, that's lofty company.
It is lofty company. Jarvis Landry was the other guy on the other end on offense. So it was one of those games where you saw everybody get involved. And although Mac Hollins and Isaiah Ford don't get much play, they don't get much run in the offense, they're always there in the red zone. Each of them have one catch in the game. They're both for touchdowns. So you gotta. I think right now the coaching staff has done a really good job. You have to commend them for getting these guys to focus in on just working at practice. And I think finally that practice play is starting to transfer over. All the meetings that you're in, all the small details that were getting through the cracks early, and it seemed like this team was going nowhere, suddenly now have found a way to capture their attention during the week, and it's carrying over to Sundays.
And we're talking here with John Congemi on Dateline Dolphins. Follow him up on Twitter at John Congemi. When you touched on it, John, and Defo and I talked about it, whatever you want to say about Tua, he may not chuck it down the field and be going deep as much as you'd like, but again, the offensive line and the receiver have a lot to do with that. He's always been a leader, and we've heard that constantly from this organization. And like, they had 4 drops yesterday that really were at the worst of times. Like, it would, on a third down or a second down, that would have extended the drive. And you could see he'd be frustrated, but he keeps going. And you could see the whole team seems to go with him. To me, that's really impressive for a kid that's not only in his second year, like a season's worth of games, and he's been in turmoil the entire time, but he and the team sort of are in lockstep. And I give him and the organization a lot of credit for letting him lead at such a young age.
Yeah, I don't know why we all feel that way. We live and die with every pass that he throws. And, if it's an incompletion, everybody puts their hands up in the air. It's like, well, how can we draft this guy?
We wanted Herbert all along.
This guy's terrible. Yeah. And then he scrambles, extends a play, throws a touchdown, and now he's going to be the franchise quarterback everybody thought he would be. I think Tua is doing just fine, guys. I really do. When you look at his play over the last month and a half after coming back from the finger injury, his passing percentage, I think he's been over 80% 3 times, most of the time over 70%. He's had a quarterback rating of over 100, I think, for the last month. Yep. The last time somebody did that was in 1984, and it was an MVP season for Dan Marino, wearing a Miami Dolphin jersey. So Tua is doing just fine. Tua is the least of the Miami Dolphins' problems right now. I think they still have to worry about getting enough out of the running game to complement the quick passing and to do all those things that you're doing. I think they still have to get a couple more explosive plays, but those have been there. I think Jalen Waddle's done an excellent job of run after catch. I think the addition of Devontae Parker, you're going to see Devontae Parker, mark this down, 4 games left in the year. He's going to do tremendous. He'll stay healthy. He's going to catch 10, 11 balls over the next 2 weeks. Everybody's going to say, where was this guy all year? Let's keep him. It's going to be crazy, but he's going to have a strong finish, which is going to help Mike Gesicki down the middle, because you need a guy outside the numbers to do that. If it wasn't going to be Preston Williams, it needed to be Devontae Parker. And I think Devontae's going to have a strong finish, which is going to help Mike down the middle of the field, because it gets coverage away from him. You can't double him down the middle with a receiver, with the defender over the top.
Dateline Dolphins with John Congemi here on the Defo Show. Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubie, Lubitz, ionchannel.com, and just Google the Defo Show, and you get us in all kinds of different formats, including audio and video streaming. All right, John, this is interesting because, and I would imagine one of the analysts that we had on would have to maybe raise his assessment that Tua, if everything works out, has a chance to someday be the poor man's Rich Gannon, which I thought was,
I don't agree with that.
Very disparaging. Not that Rich Gannon didn't at the end of his career distinguish himself there with the Raiders. He was a very serviceable quarterback, and he could do some interesting things. He was an older guy at the time. But, sometimes you can't have everything. I guess, this is the way that you should be looking at it. I'm watching Tua make some very, very difficult throws look easy in the intermediate game. And, it'd be like having Chris Paul on your team as a point guard. Okay, is he going to can like a dozen threes a game like he was Steph Curry? Probably not. But what's wrong with being very, very efficient at that mid-range jumper, which is a lost art? I don't know if there's anything wrong with what Tua is doing, because he's so accurate, as you stated, that that can be a real asset, and he's not inclined to turn the ball over as much, at least of late, as he may have been in the past with some really stupid throws.
Well, it all depends, guys, on what offense are you trying to run and what are you trying to achieve with that offense. I think some of the national media take notos at times during the year, because when Justin Herbert or Josh Allen have 3 or 4 down weeks, nobody says boo. Nobody says anything. Well, just the running game's not there. The defense played poorly. It was bad weather.
Coach needs to be fired.
Yeah, it was just. He had the wrong breakfast. It just didn't work out right for him. Nobody says anything. But when Tua has a bad quarter, everybody's, I can't believe they drafted him. Now, listen, Tua didn't play up to expectations or that we've set for him, but you don't know what they were trying to achieve, and it takes the other 10 guys around him to kind of get going as well. And I think Tua, to his credit, after he was injured, came back and really started to get the ball out on time and get the ball located where he needed to locate it. And I think that has helped him. What also has helped him is that offensive line has been together in the same positions for about a month and a half now, almost 2 months. They weren't good in the beginning of that transition. They weren't good for the last 4 or 5 years in terms of being consistent enough to give the guy, whoever that guy is, enough time to be able to be productive on a week-to-week basis. The last few weeks, they've been better because you've seen more separation from where Tua is throwing the football, from where the offensive line is trying to hold that integrity of the pocket. The ball's out on time. You don't have to hold your block that long or sustain that position when the ball's coming out on, catch, throw from shotgun formation. So I just think that Rich Gannon was a good quarterback. He always was a good quarterback.
I can't believe you remember the way we referenced Rich Gannon here. That was great.
You have to be able to assess guys on their own merit. You want to compare Justin Herbert or Josh Allen to somebody that's played in the past. Well, you could do that, but it's not going to hold true for an entire season because you're going to have a roller coaster weeks. The NFL is not what it was way back when, where you had 5 or 6 really good teams. Everybody else was bad. Now everybody's pretty mediocre, and you have certain weeks where guys and teams elevate to where you think you're going to be okay. So I think Tua in the long run is going to be just fine.
Well, and it says something about sports that is often overlooked, and that is what's wrong with putting a guy or a team, for that matter, if they have limitations, in a position where they actually can excel. But when they have the ability to do that, may not be, the glamour thing of hitting a home run ball, but what's wrong with just getting a bunch of guys on base sometimes and knocking them in and scoring 8 runs a game and then holding the opposition down? The defense has been solid, albeit, as you said, John Kajemi, against crappy teams. One thing that is never crappy, and that is the experience at Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill. And you have me tantalized with anticipation of getting down there on a future show here on Ion Channel. And we had such a blast down there, and it was, just really enlightening. Sitting there talking to Jimmy, one of the great speakers of all time in any type of interview situation, with so much to reflect on. But there's nothing like chilling down there at mile marker 104 in Key Largo at Jimmy Johnson's.
No, you're right, Defo. It's the perfect name because once you get there, all you want to do is get a drink in your hand, put your flip-flops on the side, and put your feet up on a chair and kind of take in the sights and sounds, because the weekends are great down at Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill. You have the tiki bar on the outside. You have live band entertainment with music and food, anything you want, from the freshest fish you can eat to Dominic and Larry getting in the kitchen and making up a fisherman's pizza for you. So they've got everything. Amanda, my sister-in-law, runs Jimmy Johnson's. Dominic and Larry think they do, but Amanda really does. And she does an excellent job with the sports bar and getting everybody organized. And it's first-class service from the minute you get there to the minute you leave. So I did speak with Larry last week. Tom
great.
Fox was on the call, our consigliere. So those guys are, you just need all you got to do is get in a hold of Tom, and we're all set at the Big Chill later in the month.
Man, that's exciting news for Jack and Amy and all the people at Ion Channel, Brad as well. As that'll be quite an endeavor to get down there, but we do have the capability, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And if Jimmy's on the scene there, all the better, because that was absolutely fantastic. And what a weekend we had. Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill, mile marker 104, the Overseas Highway. That, of course, is the only road in and out of Key Largo. And you'll have a blast down there, as we did, and looking forward to being there in the very near future. Call Tommy Fox. He'll set you up. Is there a password I have to use to get through to Tommy Fox, man? I mean,
it never changes, Defo. Same one.
Just say Big Chill, and you're in. All right, we're coming back with more with John Kajemi, Dateline Dolphins. Many things happening all around the National Football League and college football. You want to dive into the college stuff next? Because that was highly interesting to see what was happening there. And then the way it shook out, there was no way to job Cincinnati, which was, I think, a phenomenon that occurred over with no way to
I thought that was on its way.
That would have been
on its way.
Well, and I also talk the Canes, the whole Kane, whatever the hell's going on with UN.
Oh yeah.
Covered
whatever
football for a long time, and I don't know if I've ever seen anything like what's going on.
I think the deadline, the supposed deadline's today around midday, right?
There you go.
Cristobal.
I had a situation one time where I walked into, I had to drop something off on the program director's desk. I was in the station when nobody was in there on a Sunday doing some stuff, and so I had to leave this guy a note. So I go in there, and I happen to see on his desk that a guy that very next day was going to be starting in my job. That he had a memo there that this guy Ace Young starts tomorrow. I mean, some cat out of L.A. How was he going to compete with that, a young Defo? So I actually knew that I was getting fired while I was still doing a job, but nobody had told me yet. And that's kind of where Manny Diaz is at. I mean,
just
he was going to get on a plane and go to the West Coast to recruit a guy, and instead he says, well, but imagine sitting in a guy's living room when the announcement comes on the crawl on ESPN that you're out.
That's happened before, multiple times.
That's crazy. But anyway, so we'll get into that, and then the whole college football playoff thing, which I don't know that anybody could really argue with it so far this year. Right. Back with more with John in a moment. That's Mike Lubitz. I'm Jeff Deforrest. It's the Defo Show here on Ion Channel, and John Congemi going Dateline Dolphins with us. Don't forget about the good people at Deal Volkswagen. They are going absolutely terrific right into the holiday season. Anna's out of her mind. There was a horse called Anna's Dream that won the other day, and it is Anna's Dream to bring you cars at the lowest possible price, especially in this category that is just absolutely hysterical, a market for pre-owned vehicles. They have the certified pre-owns at prices that are about half what anybody else would have them for at Deal Volkswagen right now. So check them out at dealvolkswagen.com. That's online. It doesn't matter where you are, especially if you're in southern Florida. They can get your car anywhere. Naples, while we drive one over there, Jim? Yep, no problem. They'll do it. They'll even send one down to Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill. You could buy a car while you're down there having a couple of margaritas and realize that, wow, I can trust these guys even when slightly inebriated. But no, it's fantastic, and that's what it's all about. Customer service there at Deal Volkswagen. DealVolkswagen.com, 3601 Bird Road, right there in Coral Gables for Deal Volkswagen. All right, we're coming back with more with John. Lots to discuss here, including what do you think about going for two there, Johnny Harbaugh? Did you catch that?
Yeah, I
the
did.
Pittsburgh game?
I was saying kick it because I thought they'd win in the end, but they had the perfect play. They just didn't execute it.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, this T.J. Watt, a little bit of a menacing presence. You've been there where all of a sudden at the last second, whoa, where did he come from? That's right. And you have to alter the throw a little bit, and it's just enough to throw like a perfectly designed play, completely out of skew. Back with more with John in a moment on the Defo Show. Now that.
The time.
Day 26.
Since day one of old school, we've had Catholic Health Services be part of our family. They are recognized as the quintessential rehab facility in the Southeast for strokes, but it goes well beyond strokes because Catholic Health Services is in the community of South Florida to help the community stay healthy. And if they're not healthy, get them healthy and get them back on their feet quicker than they could have ever expected. They do it every single day. It's step and repeat 24/7. Catholic Health Services.
Destination Sport Miami is here to revolutionize the sports landscape in South Florida. The largest indoor multifaceted sports complex in North America is on the way with distinguished leaders of its various sports programs and unparalleled access to the finest indoor training fields and facilities. Destination Sport Miami will set South Florida apart as the destination of choice for elite athletic training and development and for its dedication to youth programs and sports on all levels. A phenomenal concept and a powerful undertaking, Destination Sport Miami will also be an important commodity in the sports business community as well. Destination Sport Miami, its time has come. The championship meet is right around the corner at Gulfstream Park. The only place for live racing, Gulfstream's action has never been hotter. Whether it's on the track, in the casino, or part of the dining and entertainment offered at the Village of Gulfstream Park. Currently running Thursday through Sunday, Gulfstream's racing package is the best in the country, with all the top horses and people in the game pointing towards another tremendous winter season. Check out the remodeled first floor casino, open 7 days and nights a week, along with the many special events and concerts happening at Gulfstream Park. You can place your wagers from anywhere at firstbet.com. Check the calendar of events at gulfstreampark.com.
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, The Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
Buy or lease a Taos and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen. We wanted to get into some college football, but John Congemi, longtime analyst, John Congemi with us here. I don't know if you were aware of the proposition that was out there that the team that lost this game in London would have their passports revoked and not be allowed to come back to the country. Have you seen any sightings at the airport? I got in late last night. I didn't see any Dolphin players running around there in the Fort Lauderdale airport.
Exactly.
You know what, guys? That wouldn't have been a bad bet because I'm sure Dolphin fans around the world are disappointed, highly disappointed the way the season has started, and as well as losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars of all teams in London.
They're in the Fort Lauderdale airport. All right, welcome back to the show. We kind of butchered that clip there, but we do have John Congemi with us. Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubie, Lubitz with you on Ion Channel, the Defo Show, and very happy to be with you across all of the major platforms. We do want to tell you, too, about HST Insurance and what they can do for you. They will have a plan, very confusing out there. The laws, I don't know that anybody really understands them, but they have experts on the staff there at HST that can design a plan just for you and or your family, and it's very important to get this done. So call them today at 855-282-8022. Don't go without insurance either, or have the wrong kind of coverage. Maybe you're buying stuff you don't even need. Call HST. Get the straight count at 855-282-8022. John's with us, courtesy of Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill in Key Largo. Very excited about that. One call to Tommy Fox, and we have this thing done, Louie. So that's going to be very exciting, heading down there again. All right. We talked about this on our Degenerate Friday show, John. You can appreciate this, that in gambling, never bet against the devil. And we raised a couple of examples. Jimmy Swaggart bet against the devil. Guess what happened, man? Left, big presence that he had there and all that money, that pile of cash in disgrace. Jim Baker, same thing, bet against the devil, and the devil got to him. And you can't bet against Nick Saban. All logic would have dictated, and I know we discussed this, that Georgia would handle and completely compromise any chance Alabama had on offense in that ball game. And after watching Auburn and then Florida nearly beat them, you thought, how vulnerable is this Nick Saban team? And they go out there and annihilate the Georgia Bulldogs, score 42 points on a team that, I don't know, cumulatively, if they had given up 42 points all season. That was an amazing, I don't know, what happened there in your opinion?
That was one of the best 4 quarters of a football game for Alabama that I've seen them play all season. And it had to be because Georgia's that good, and they're that good on defense. I think the difference was when Georgia was behind, I kind of felt that they didn't have enough to get back in the football game. Their front seven on defense is so dominant, but the back end was exposed by Young and those receivers in Alabama. Alabama pushed the issue. They went for it on 4th down. They kept the tempo going. They were able to run it just enough to complement the gambling that they had on 3rd and 4th down. And when Georgia got behind, I think they found that they do have some firepower, but not to the point where if you're 2 touchdowns back, 10 points back against a team that's equally talented up front, that's going to be a give or take. That could be a flip of the coin. And it went Alabama's way because I think Alabama kind of got their feelings, I guess, hurt a little bit in terms of coming into the game as an underdog, and no one was giving them a chance. And I think Nick Saban kind of relishes that position because he gets it once every 6 years, maybe 5 years. And he's able to unleash the hounds. He's able to just talk dirt to his team the entire week. That really kind of pisses him off by Friday. And then by Saturday, they're ready to go. It's just not another game. It's the game. And I think they performed, probably the best. That was one of the best 4-quarter games Alabama's put together in a long time.
Well, and the thing with Georgia is we hadn't seen them tested. People sort of question their offense because they run it a lot. It's sort of old school. They run it, simple passes. They don't really worry about scoring. Their defense is so dominant that it doesn't matter what they do on offense. However, the one question was, if they do get in a dogfight, can they outscore someone? Because with Stetson Bennett, it's more conservative 1980s football, 1970s football than it is 2021. And that's what happened. Once they got down, it's like, what are you going to do with this guy? And that's been my question all year. I know you follow college football, total different level, but their offense is different with JT Daniels. Like, I understand he's had injury issues, but they're night and day when Daniels is out there as opposed to when Bennett's out there. So I don't understand what's going on there. And that's a little weird to me that they keep sticking with Bennett when supposedly Daniels is healthy now.
Yeah, I thought that Kirby was going to make a change there in the middle of the third quarter. It seemed like when he had the turnover and then, you had a 3-and-out, and it looked like he was talking to his quarterbacks, and the quarterbacks were getting together. I didn't know if there was going to be a change there or not, but you're right, Lubie, about the change in offense from Daniels and Bennett. One is more not conservative, but it's not stretching the field, and the other one is kind of, you get a big run, and then you couple that with another pass play, and it's a 4-play drive, 78 yards. It's 7-0 Georgia. It seems like you get that feel. Now, everybody that's worried about Georgia, I wouldn't worry too much because they're going to have their hands full with a Michigan team right here in the Orange Bowl in one of the semifinals. That very similar football teams, only Michigan is maybe just a touch, I would say, not slower, but maybe not as explosive, I think, as their front sevens are concerned. I think Michigan can hang with them if they get the lead, but that's going to be a great football game. And Alabama's going to find a way to kind of, not lay down and play to Cincinnati's level, because I don't think Cincinnati has the talent from start to finish that Alabama does. But there again, it's college football. It's 18-year-old, 19-year-old kids, and anything can happen. So I think the matchups are correct in terms of where they're going with this college football playoff.
All right, so let me get into a little business here. It might be a little personal, but Segredo is offering face value, even though he's on the committee, the Orange Bowl committee, for tickets. And I'm looking at that game, and I'm thinking, wow, I really like the way Michigan is playing. They're going to bring fans here to South Florida. Game. People coming out of the cold there. And Georgia, travels very well also, and it's not that big of a schlep for these guys. They can even drive those pickup trucks down here.
That's right.
And have a good time. And it's always great because Lubie and I hosted an event one time on South Beach as part of the Orange Bowl affairs that was going on. And it was like West Virginia against like South Carolina or something.
Oh, it was Clemson versus West Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah, Clemson, yeah. It was all hillbillies on South Beach.
It really was.
The waiting staff there at these foo-foo hotels, they were going out of their mind. They're like, don't let these farmers in here. I tell you, Joe, don't let them in. No, but they were having a good time, and they have discretionary cash for some reason. I don't know whether they not spend any money to live in like these kind of towns. I'm not sure, but this matchup looks good. So, we don't want to pay face through Tony. What kind of pull with your connection with the Dolphins do you have John Kajemi for some like freebie media tickets? Because that might be a game worth going to there. And it's what, New Year's Eve? Is that when the game is?
I
not
believe
necessarily
so.
New Year's Day. What happened there? Is New Year's Day on a Sunday or something?
I think this is even a Friday night game potentially. It's
Okay.
the 31st, correct? So I think
Yes,
it is maybe a Friday night.
The two semis are on the 31st.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're giving the two teams that win the extra time for the next week in terms of preparation and travel and where they're going to play the championship game. But I wish, guys, if I had the pull to get tickets from the Orange Bowl, you two would be at least 7th or 8th on the list for me to give those to you guys.
Calvano, he's probably got some pull through Jimmy. I would imagine Jimmy could score a pair.
That could be, there again, we have to go through the consigliere. if we can get Tommy on the phone. But Larry could have some pull there. You're right. We'll have to check into that. Me, I've got no pull anymore.
I like the way Michigan's come on. I mean, they knock off Ohio State, all of the wise guys, everybody. And once in a while, you just have to, as a degenerate gambler, go against all of the people that you have the utmost respect for as handicappers and say, you guys are dead wrong, man. They're not going to collapse off that Ohio State game. If anything, it's going to be an uplifting thing for them emotionally because they know, much like the U.S. Olympic hockey team, right, with the Miracle on Ice, they beat the Russians, but they had to win a subsequent game to win the championship. And that's kind of what happened for Michigan. And they more than rose to the occasion. I mean, whatever. I don't know what problems they incurred earlier. I mean, they did lose one game, to Michigan State.
Yes.
But other than that, I mean, these last few weeks, they've looked great.
Michigan's looked terrific. And they're really good where you need to be against Georgia. And their offensive line and their defensive front, they can put some pressure on the quarterback, and they're fast enough up front and strong enough up front to hold a 4-quarter game with the Georgia Bulldogs. The problem I see is that if they get behind the chains in terms of running the football, and Michigan's going to want to, go a couple tight ends, run the football, and I think Georgia in the beginning of this game might be too strong up front, even though Michigan has a good offensive line. I think that's going to be who wins on third down. Can Michigan stay on the field on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7 if they incur, a negative run on first down and incompletion on second down? Is it 3rd and 11 all the time, or can they get manageable? That's where Michigan wants to play. First down, gain 4 yards. Second down, another 3 if they're going to run it. Now they're in third. They got you in a run-pass situation, and you can do a lot more with your formations if you're Jim Harbaugh. So I think that's where the game early is going to be a feel-out game. And if Michigan can pass those tests, they're going to be in it for 60 minutes.
John Congemi with us here on Dateline Dolphins on the Defo Show here on Ion Channel. Google the Defo Show. You can find it, streaming audio and video all over the world. All right, and by the way, congratulations, Pittsburgh, tremendous defense in the second half against an overwhelmingly high-scoring Wake Forest team. They win the ACC championship in the process, so that was great. And very interesting to stymie Wake Forest like that. That quarterback has a great head of hair, though, the Wake Forest quarterback. But he kept, having to have it stand straight up like Don King as he was throwing pick after pick in that game tough against Pittsburgh. And, wow, I mean, they broke out the wild card. Were you inclined to go to that game? Did you jump on that private jet? Because guess who gave the pregame speech, the motivational speech?
Yeah, I know. I was talking with Dan the night before he left, and he was excited to go and see the Panthers. And I had work obligations, so I couldn't go. But had a good time watching it, and I know Dan had a great time being there and talking with the team. And I think he accepted an award from the ACC as well at a dinner. Nice. And it was a great night. It was a great night in Charlotte for the Panthers. They went back and forth for the first 30 minutes, and then the defense kind of turned it up, and it was fun to watch. A pick six and another one that went down to maybe the 3-yard line where they cashed it in. And Kenny Pickett, he should be one of those finalists for the Heisman. I would think, he's got to be there in the room because he's had that type of season.
Yeah, this is great, too. The over-under is 72, I believe it was in that game. Yes. So it's 24-21 at halftime. They have 45 points on the board, on track to score 90. And you figure they're really going to open things up as the defense is tired, chasing down all of these offensive weapons that were on the field. And sure enough, they shut them out in the second half, the Pittsburgh Panthers. And the overplayers are being carried out of the casinos in body bags once again, because logic never prevails, it seems like. Whenever you're most convinced that there's no way you could be wrong, much like was the case with a lot of people with Georgia and Alabama, which looked on paper like a blowout the other way and turned out to be the exact opposite. All right, what kind of sacrificial lamb is Cincinnati going to be to the Crimson Tide? Or do you believe, John Congemi, that they are in there with a shot?
I don't. I don't think they're in there with a shot. I think I have a lot of respect for Cincinnati and the schedule that they play and the teams they go up against, the way they play football. I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think Alabama's too good. I have a lot of respect for Desmond Ridder as a quarterback. I've covered him. I've done games. I've watched Cincinnati. I like the way Luke Fickell, Their head coach gets them ready. I think they do it the right way. They do all the right things in terms of their staff and the way they go about playing football. I just think it comes down to talent at the end of the day. And I just think Alabama has a lot of it. And I don't see this game. I don't know what the point spread is early. I would guess
13
11.
and a hook, I think.
Yeah. Maybe 13.
Yes.
I think it'll probably hold true to that. It'll get there and more as the game gets deep, but I think it'll be tighter for the first 30 minutes. But I don't think it'll be that way in the second half.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns nearly. Alabama is laying in that game, and they've had difficulty covering some big spreads during the course of the season. You would love to see Cincinnati at least get in there, and
I think it will be early, guys. I think they do. I mean, Desmond Ridder is one of the best quarterbacks in terms of numbers, in terms of wins, in terms of doing all the things you need to do, for Cincinnati. And they have a strong running game. They've got some talent out there, but they haven't faced the size that Alabama is going to put on the field defensively in their front seven that run as fast or faster than what Cincinnati has. And I think that will be the shocking difference when you watch. I remember a few years ago when Cincinnati played Florida. I think it was in a Sugar Bowl, and it was just a matchup nightmare because Cincinnati had a great year, but they just didn't match up with Florida's speed and talent, and you knew it was going to be a massacre. I don't know if this is going to be that way, but Alabama's size and speed are different. They have different size and speed than Cincinnati's been able to win with all year.
Don't bet against the devil. That's what it's all about. No, I took journalism 201. That's as far as I got at Syracuse, and that was at the Newhouse School of Communications. And that course actually was called Never Pay for Tickets. So would you pay face for nosebleeds for the Michigan-Georgia game? Face value for nosebleeds. I'm talking about section, I think they were embarrassed to have like a section 454, so they just made it like 354. Yeah. This way it doesn't seem so bad. Oh, yeah, we're on the third level, man. That can't be that
especially
bad.
Especially a friend of the show. I mean, face value from a friend of the show?
Well, he's claiming that he has to pay for them, but he's on the committee. How many tickets you figure Tony Segredo gets for free?
Well,
you're on the committee, John. They're
the
flying
2
over
that he's
these ball
paying
games.
for don't match the 12 that he's got in the envelope that are coming to him as well.
Exactly.
It's always great when the guy has like a thing from Ticketmaster, and it's one of those envelopes with like 40 tickets in it, and he's screaming that you're trying to squeeze him for a pair of ducats to sit up there in the bleed. But that's going to be very compelling. And so that shook out just about the way that everybody expected in college football. Very interesting weekend there. All right, we'll come back. We'll wrap things up with John Congemi here. Dateline Dolphins. Dolphins on a roll. They've won 5 straight. Big ball game on tap tonight. Boy, what a game tonight, huh? New England and Buffalo. That'll be a very telling contest and competition in terms of who really is bound possibly for Super Bowl contention. Is Belichick for real with this run that he's had going? Is Buffalo back on track after a couple of subpar games when they beat up on just a completely depleted New Orleans team the other night? Much to my displeasure, as unfortunately I was handed New Orleans by my buddy. This must be an easy year to predict football, John Congemi. This guy's never won in his lifetime. I've been booking his bets for like 6 years. Never had a winning season. He's now up 22 units on me, which it's starting.
Not good.
I was looking online this morning during the show to see if, what kind of capital I could get for like an organ donation if I was willing to make it right now. Hey, anybody need a kidney? This guy's killing me, man. Killing me. You didn't see a lot of bookies at the boat show this year. I don't know if you had a chance to hobnob around there. Did you notice that?
I did not. I did not peruse this year.
All right, this is great news. One call to Tommy Fox, and we're down there at Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill.
That's all you got to do.
Do we get Mayo down there to try the Italian fisherman? Because he shrugs it off. He's got this snooty pooty kind of attitude about being a food critic, and he's all right. He'll eat a McRib sandwich, but for some reason I mentioned it. He goes, "Oh yeah, it sounds good." This thing is great. Yeah,
we're not going to beg anyone. If they don't want to go, it's more for us.
Their loss. Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's on you.
The scallops are like the size of manhole covers on that thing, and fresh as a daisy. I always like that. You can kind of tell when you're down in the Keys, the seafood just takes on a whole different kind of delicacy to it. And wow, you're right. Your brother, man, did you get any of those cooking skills? Because he's dynamite.
No, you know what? It skips, I guess, every kid.
Can he throw a football? I heard he was a good athlete.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, he was a quarterback, high school quarterback as well.
All right, very good. Wow, I mean, it's going to be a fantastic time. Looking very much forward to that with the people on Ion Channel. That they always say, "Are we invited?" We're going to need them, right, on this one.
Yeah,
We're going to have to bring like production trucks and all kinds of crazy stuff down there.
Entire scene down there.
Going to be a lot of fun. All right, and maybe they can get some, separate like kind of hard knocks behind the scenes shots of what the crew is like, including a drunken Lubie on the bar. They're going, "I'll have another margarita."
That's the Sunday early morning Lubie, right? That's right.
Pretty much.
All right, coming back with more with John Congemi, Dateline Dolphins here on the Ion Channel. Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubitz, John Congemi, brought to you by Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill in Key Largo, mile marker 104. Coming back with more in a moment. Now that
The time.
it's 8:49 on the East Coast. Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. What if I told you you could go to a great restaurant, feel completely safe because their COVID protocol is unmatched, have an amazing meal, have a great time. When the bill comes, you won't get sticker shock. You're going to say, that's too good to be true. No, it's not, because I'm talking about Texas Roadhouse. Great family atmosphere, great atmosphere for a couple, great atmosphere if you just want to go by yourself and watch a game and have the coldest beer in town. And while you're doing that, have the best bread in town. All at Texas Roadhouse. Everything you get there is fresh every day and made sure it's served at your table, hot and ready to go. And the best part is you don't get sticker shock because the prices are amazing. Texas Roadhouse.
Hey, it's Mike Mayo for Even Keel Fish Shack, corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard at Lauderdale by the Sea. It's my favorite place now for great seafood in a casual beachfront setting. They've got happy hour 4 to 7 Monday through Friday. They've got great dishes like grilled oysters and oysters on the half shell, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, octopus. They also have burgers and chicken for those who don't like the seafood. They're open 7 days a week for a lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack. Go say hi to Dave and Brad and tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone? You can have Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa on your side.
Buy or lease a Taos and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen. Coming back with more on this week's edition of Dateline Dolphins with John Congemi. Always a lot of fun having John on the show. Marino, did he ever honor one of those running play calls that Shula would send in?
No, that was the one when he just waved at the sideline. Was disgusting. I got it.
Yeah. You know there's going to be some kind of audible
Ryan.
call. Yeah.
No way.
86 to play. That was the call. All right, we're coming back with more. We'll wrap things up on this week's edition of Dateline Dolphins with John Congemi. Always a lot of fun having John on the show. Welcome back to the show, the Defo Show here on Ion Channel, ionchannel.com. Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubie, Lubitz, and wow, it has blown by too quickly here. Our hour with John Congemi, Dateline Dolphins. I did get a couple of text messages. I know you're in on this thing, John. Tommy Fox, the man, and he says, "Don't worry, it's going down." That was it. That was the only message I got.
It's tough to negotiate when you got a draft in one hand and a slice of pie in the other one. You're already down at Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill going, yeah, we'll have you guys down whenever you can make it.
You come down. Jimmy says it's okay. So that's going to be good. We're looking very much forward to that sometime in, it is December, so that's happening very soon.
Yes.
Now, big game on the circuit tonight. The Monday night matchups have not always been so glamorous. It seems like they get the short end of the stick there. Thursday night games are okay. The Sunday night games, obviously, are getting marquee choices on whatever's on the schedule. But Buffalo, New England, very interesting as supremacy in the AFC East is at stake. Belichick seems to have found the second coming of Tommy Boy. I don't know if you agree with that, but I mean, the early indications are that this kid Mac Jones is going to be everything Lubie thought he wouldn't be, which is a spectacular, very stabilizing influence at quarterback, just what the New England Patriots like to have in their system. I mean, he fits it like a glove and is doing very well. And then the Buffalo Bills, as you mentioned, nobody ever gets on Allen when he has a series of poor games. And then he redeemed himself against a very depleted New Orleans team. Was that enough to convince you, John, that Buffalo, going in as a favorite tonight, can beat the New England Patriots?
Buffalo can turn it on quicker than most teams because I do think they were the king of the hill in terms of the AFC East, coming into the season. And I still think that they are the team to beat. But I think one of the biggest surprises has been the play of the New England Patriots. And the quarterback in Mac Jones. Now, I thought Mac Jones would be good. I didn't know he would be this good. I think the marriage between him and offensive coordinator Josh McDaniel has been perfect because this is exactly the way they want to run their offense. They want to get the ball out on time. They want to have a high percentage of completions, and they don't want to take sacks. They want to stay away from negative plays. They've been able to do that. And at 8-4, they could create some separation between the Buffalo Bills with a big win tonight. And I think probably the hidden secret, and I don't know if it's hidden, excuse me, if you're playing against the Patriots, but it's their defense. When you play offense the way they do, and you're only giving up 15 points a game, which is number one in the NFL right now, that's great complementary football. So, on offense, the worst thing you're doing is punting the football. And on defense, the worst thing you're doing is creating a stalemate. You're not, a good play would be taking it away, creating field position for Mac Jones to be able to kind of go bing, 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 and all of a sudden they're in field goal range and they're cashing in the red zone. So this kid's completing over 70% of his passes, over 2,800 yards. The touchdown interception ratio is really good. They're on a roll right now, and they're probably the scariest team to play in the AFC because you know what you're going to get. It's tough to stop.
This is why I don't buy the tanking thing, because if you look at the Patriots, right, they were shambles last year. They were a COVID-infested disaster. They lost Brady and didn't have anybody. That a shot fighter in Cam Newton that they were hoping, winging a prayer type of thing, that he might be able to find some semblance of his previous form. That didn't happen. So they were completely in the dumps. And the only headlines they were making were coming out of and originating from that Asian spa in Jupiter where Bob Kraft was nailed by the cops there on a reverse sting, where he wasn't even like a target. That they were like shocked that he walked in there. Hey, look at that. Isn't that guy with the blue shirt and the white collar?
Why does that guy have 6 rings on?
So, and yet inside of a year, and also off to kind of a poor start. They lose to the Dolphins, who subsequently lost 7 in a row after they won against the New England Patriots, and looked to be so-so at best. And then here they are, right back in it, showing you that you can turn things around with front office ingenuity and the right coach, as opposed to having to pull the plug on everything and go back and strip it down to nothing.
Well, the New England Patriots have done such a great job of really plugging and playing Tom Brady with a guy that plays like, if you will, Tom Brady. He doesn't take sacks. He doesn't run really all that well, but can maneuver just enough. And he's very accurate throwing the football. And when you give him a chance to hit the deep ball, he's going to hit it. So I think you couldn't. I mean, all they did was sit at, I think, around 15 in the draft. And they just sat there and waited for their quarterback. And no other franchise could do a thing about it. And it's worked out magically for New England.
Before we go, John, I did want to circle back. We sort of teased the whole Kane, whatever the hell's going on there, but didn't talk about it. You've covered college football for over 2 decades. I understand you even threw it out. Yeah, it happens. I get it. Behind closed doors, schools will look into other coaches while they still have a coach. But the reports rarely get out, and whatever gets out is super like rumor, and you really don't believe it. Miami hasn't hidden any of this. Like, this is national news, local news. Like, Cristobal hasn't shot any of it down. Like, even in his presser, he was sort of like weird. Yet Manny's not only still the coach, he's still active. Like, the dude was recruiting all weekend. He was coaching practices. I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen anything like this, to be brutally honest. Like, the fact that they're openly courting a guy while they have a coach and they won't fire him. I'm just curious what your thoughts are, what the hell's going on with in Coral Gables.
Isn't it hard for Manny Diaz, if he ends up retaining his job, to go back and get in a room with the kids and go like, I'm your guy, I'm your leader. This is the everybody has confidence in me, the administration, everyone. So it's a tough situation to go into. It's almost best for Miami that they do make a change, that Mario does decide to come to Miami, because right now they're way ahead, out in front of their skis in terms of what they've done.
It's kind of like Tony Sperano when there was Stephen Ross, and they were tracking his plane straight to like some island that Jim Harbaugh was on.
That's right.
And they're flying all over the universe, and yet then they turn around.
No, that wasn't me. That wasn't me.
And they have a vote of confidence thing, with Tony Sperano going, yeah, you're still the man. Trust me, Tony, and don't worry about a thing. You're going nowhere. This from our good friend Andy. Maybe a final note and a note for people that are looking to gather some holiday cash. Bet the under in every Giant game with Freddie Kitchens as offensive coordinator. Conservative is not a strong enough word. I mean, way out there to the right. You're talking about just as conservative as you can get, and unfortunately compromised the quarterback. And maybe Lubie was right about one. I thought Daniel Jones had a better shot to be a pro quarterback than he's indicated so far. John, always a pleasure. Exciting news. I'm going to be on the phone to Tommy Fox here in short order. He was listening in the car, and you can catch the audio stream, the video stream. I hope he wasn't watching, but, keep your eyes on the road, people. But great to have you on all the different platforms that we're across here on ION Channel. John, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks so much for joining us this week.
Thanks for having me, guys, and look forward to next week. Hopefully we'll be down in the Keys at the Big Chill.
Wow. Yeah, let's do it. Now, that is exciting, my friend. All right, we'll see you next week, John.
You got it, guys.
Sounds good. John Kajemi, ladies and gentlemen. That would be a great way to kick off, the prelude to the holiday week. Lubie, be down there at the Big Chill there with Jimmy on the show. If we can make that happen again. Huge score for the people at ION Channel also. We told you we might be able to deliver something. I can't get this light to work, but other than that, we're in good shape. You can still see me, though, right?
I've seen it. You've done a good job. Good job,
There's this interrogation light. The last time I saw that was when the feds were asking me, so what about this marketing director? You gave him how much money? I thought it was a loan. All right. We're going to see you guys tomorrow. Been a lot of fun being with you later on after hours with Defo and Lubie on the Believe Podcast Network. And that's doing very well for us. We might feature there, I believe, Mel Renfro, Hall of Famer.
That's the goal.
One of our special guests. Yes. But he also is hustling pork rinds. So I don't know how much football talk we'll get in there with Mel, but we'll see what happens with that. And then Mike Mayo's Lunchbox on 1470 here in town. That streams on the Odyssey app, the Odyssey app, audio app. And you can catch that. Mike Mayo talking about all kinds of restaurants. Man, that guy, you saw him on the Friday show, huh? There's the camera doesn't lie.
Yeah, it may add 10. It doesn't add 50.
Jack's going to put a scale in there, man. We're going to have a weigh-in every Friday.
I just want him to be okay, Mayo. Like, he went down the list of food. I'm like, none of that's healthy. Like, that's all heavy.
Oh, everything he's eating, man. Like fried chicken was the most healthy thing he's had in the last 2 weeks. And we're heading into the holidays. You know you're going to be eating a lot of stuff you normally wouldn't even pick at, right? Like a fruitcake.
Exactly.
All right. Speaking of fruitcakes and all of the festivities that go along with the holidays, is this the last night of Hanukkah or is it still on?
Last night was the last night of Hanukkah.
Okay, man. Everybody's showing potato latkes, pictures of potato latkes.
Yesterday was like the big day. It was the end of.
I like those, man. Nothing like fried potatoes. Yeah. All right. We'll see you next time. Great being with you. We'll see you tomorrow at 7 in the a.m. on the Ion channel. Google the Defo Show. For Mike Lubie Lubitz, I'm Jeff Deforrest. A pleasure being with you all morning long. We'll see you tomorrow at 7 as we leave you now that.
The time.
It's 9:03.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my show.